The small yet strong event is coming to Pokemon Go, featuring the release of Shiny Nymble. In this video, I will be going through everything this event has to offer, and afterwards I will be going through the best tips to help you make the most of it. So the event takes place from February 5th at 10 AM until the 8th at 8 PM local time. But what exactly does this event have to offer? So for the bonuses, there will be 2 times XP for catching Pokemon, and you will have an increased chance to encounter double XS and double XL Pokemon in the wild. So definitely a good time to stock up on double XL Pokemon for showcases. And maybe in the future we will get some showcases that double XS Pokemon will be good for, so maybe it's worth picking up some of them as well. Event themed field research will be available, and they will get you encounters with Burmy and Nymble, and these are the 100% IVs to look out for from field research. A free timed research will run throughout the event, and it will reward you with XP, Pokeballs and encounters with event themed Pokemon. There will also be a collection challenge rewarding Stardust and an encounter with Nymble, and there'll be Pokestop showcases to keep an eye out for. And what Pokemon will be featured during the event and how can you get them? So in the wild, you will be able to encounter Paris, Natu, Plant Cloak Burmy, Sandy Cloak Burmy, Trash Cloak Burmy, Joltik, Tynamo, Nymble, which is the new shiny, and it is nice to see the shiny being released in the wild as well. You will also be able to encounter Red Flower Flabebe for Europe, the Middle East and Africa, Blue Flabebe for the Asia Pacific region, Yellow Flabebe if you're in the Americas, and rarely appearing globally will be White and Orange Flower Flabebe. For the raids, in 5-star raids will be Dialga up until the 6th at 10 AM, and then Enamorus in its incarnate form will be making its 5-star raid debut at 10 AM on the 6th. Unfortunately though, it can't be shiny. In Mega raids will be Mega Medicham up until the 6th at 10 AM, and then Mega Tyranitar will be taking over. And this is a really good Pokemon to raid, and I will be going through why later on in the video. In Max battles will be Max Squirtle, Max Machop, Max Krabby, Max Sobble and Max Moltres. And for Moltres in particular, I will be going through some strategies and counters for it later on in the video as well. Hatching from 2km eggs will be Togepi, Azurill, Budew, Chingling, Esper and Dedenne. So these are the event encounters, but which are most worth focusing on? So starting with the wild encounters, we do have Paris, and whilst it's not meta relevant, Paris is actually a Stardust boosted Pokemon that does naturally give extra Stardust when you catch it. Instead of the normal 100 Stardust per catch you get from a standard Pokemon, Paris will give you 500 Stardust per catch. And again, whilst not meta relevant, Nymble will be able to be shiny for the first time, and whilst it's available as a common spawn in the wild, it's a good chance to shiny hunt it. And for Flabebe, its evolution Florges has meta relevance in all 3 of the main Go Battle Leagues. It is ranked 89 in the Great League with 0, 14, 13 IVs. It's ranked even higher in the Ultra League where it's ranked 26 with 0, 14, 15 IVs, and even better, it's ranked 21 in the Master League. So as well as being high ranking in the Master League, it's also quite accessible compared to a lot of the other Pokemon that rank highly, which are mostly legendary Pokemon. For the egg Pokemon, Togepi is a great hatch because Togekiss is the 12th best fairy type attacker, and it's ranked 89 in the Master League. Worth noting though, it does want legacy move Aura Sphere to be at its best in the Master League, and it does require a Sinnoh Stone to evolve Togetic into Togekiss. We also have Azurill, which would be a good hatch because Azumarill is ranked 17 in the Great League, but generally you do want an IV spread close to 0, 15, 15, and as Pokemon hatched from eggs have a 10, 10, 10 IV floor, it would be beneficial to mirror trade to re-roll these IVs to attempt to get a lower attack. Overall though, I would say it's best to wait until Marill is in the wild to get a PvP Azumarill. We also have Budew in these eggs, and evolving this up to Roserade is a good idea because it is the 20th best grass type attacker and the 5th best poison type attacker. So a decent budget attacker for these types, and good value being the fact that it is good in both of its roles. And for the raids, I will be going into some raid counters for them, but first, how good are they in Pokemon Go? First, Dialga is the 4th best steel type attacker with Metal Claw and Iron Head. It's ranked 42 in the Master League, and this will be your last chance to raid this Pokemon for a while, so a good chance to stock up on candy to use for Roar of Time. Enamorus will be in 5-star raids for the first time, so it will be remote raidable this time. So it is definitely a good chance to get one for the Pokedex, but not only that, it is actually meta relevant. It's the 4th best fairy type attacker with Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam, and it's ranked 41 in the Master League. Mega Medicham doesn't really have any meta relevance, but Mega Tyranitar does. It's the best Dark type attacker with moveset Bite and Brutal Swing, and it's the 2nd best Rock type attacker with Smackdown and Stone Edge. Smackdown, however, is a legacy move, so it would require an an elite fast TM to get. For Shadow Regirock, it is ranked 31 in the Ultra League with 114-15 IVs, but it is generally better in Go Battle League in its non-Shadow form. For the max battles, Max Squirtle is a decent target, especially if you don't have G-Max Blastoise, because Max Blastoise is also a strong tank with its high defense, and it has access to Bite and Water Gun, which are 0.5 second animation moves that will charge the max meter faster. And even if you do have a G-Max Blastoise, it could be worth picking up Max Squirtle for the candy anyway. Max Machop is also worth it for now because it is currently the best fighting type max Pokemon in the game, but it's worth noting that Machamp does have a G-Max form coming in the future, so you might want to save some candy for that. But if you aren't likely to be able to get the G-Max version, then it is worth picking up for now. This is a similar story for Max Krabby. Max Kingler is a strong water type, but if you manage to get G-Max Kingler, then it is less of a priority to get. Although again, it is worth getting the candy because leveling up max moves is pretty expensive. Max Sobble could also be worth picking up for the G-Max form when it comes out, and Max Inteleon is a decent water type for max battles, comparable to Max Kingler. They are the two best outside of G-Max Kingler, but Inteleon has the bonus of having access to Water Gun, whereas Kingler can only get Bubble, and Water Gun is better for filling the max meter. And Max Moltres I would say is worth getting because it will be one of the best fire type attackers for max battles, and it will also be very useful to place into power spots to get candy for it. However, if you find Max Moltres too difficult to get, then another comparable option will be Max Darumaka and Darmanitan that are coming up later on in the month. And with that said though, let's have a look at some counters for the more difficult raids and max battles. For Enamorus, it has a raid TP of 48,230 and the 100% IVs on 1957 and 2447 boosted in cloudy and windy weather. It is a fairy and flying type, therefore it does have quite a few weaknesses, being poison, rock, steel, electric and ice type attacks. The best counters are Duskmane Necrozma, Shadow Metagross, Shadow Raikou, Mega Gengar, Shadow Magnezone, Mega Diancie, Mega Manectric, Metagross, Xurkitree and Shadow Electivire. And for budget options, I would recommend Metagross, Magnezone, Electivire, Rhyperior, Tyrantrum and Excadrill. This raid can be done with 2 people if you have the best counters at high levels, but it is worth taking another and partying up to use party power to make it easier. For Mega Tyranitar, it does have a raid TP of 52,433 and the 100% IVs for Tyranitar from these raids are 2191 and 2739 boosted in foggy and partly cloudy weather. It is a rock and dark type and therefore it is weak to ground, bug, steel, water, grass, fairy and it has a double weakness to fighting type attacks, so well worth using fighting types. The best counters are Mega Lucario, Terrakion, Mega Blaziken, Keldeo, Shadow Conkeldurr, Mega Heracross, Lucario, Shadow Machamp, Shadow Hariyama and Mega Gallade. And for budget options, I would recommend Lucario, Conkeldurr, Machamp, Hariyama, Breloom, Sirfetch'd and Blaziken. And this raid can actually be soloed with the best counters at high levels. For Shadow Regirock, it does have a raid TP of 42,768 and the 100% IVs are 1784 and 2230 boosted in partly cloudy weather. Shadow Regirock is a rock type and therefore it is weak to ground, fighting, steel, water and grass type attacks. The best counters are Duskmane Necrozma, Mega Lucario, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Mega Sceptile, Shadow Metagross, Mega Swampert, Shadow Kyogre, Shadow Groudon and Mega Garchomp. And for budget counters, I would recommend Metagross, Lucario, Hisuian Decidueye, Breloom, Swampert, Primarina, Excadrill and Garchomp. This raid will take 3 or 4 trainers to beat if you use purified gems, however 5+ is recommended without those gems. And remember, these raids can only be done in person. And lastly, for Max Moltres, the 100% IV CP value you are looking for is 1980. It's a fire and flying type, therefore it is weak to water, electric and it has a double weakness to rock. It can use any combination of Heat Wave, Ancient Power, Fire Blast, Sky Attack and Overheat for its 2 charged attacks during the battle. And remember, the direct attack can be dodged but the large attack can't. And you can always re-lobby to re-roll the moveset if Moltres has a particularly difficult combination for your team comp. So for the tanks, G-Max and D-Max Blastoise will be ideal if you come up against a fire type moveset, but against Sky Attack and Ancient Power, Max Excadrill and Max Metagross will be ideal. For attackers, the best will be G-Max Blastoise with Water Gun, G-Max Kingler with Bubble, G-Max Toxtricity with Spark, Max Blastoise with Water Gun, Max Toxtricity with Spark, Max Inteleon with Water Gun, Max Kingler with Bubble and Max Zapdos with Thundershock. Generally though, G-Max and D-Max Blastoise will be great all-round options because they can can tank the fire attacks and deal a lot of super effective damage at the same time. And once you have decided on which Pokemon you want to go after during this event, how can you maximize on candy for them? Well, you can always use peanut berries to boost your candy gains, and you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon to increase the amount of candy, Candy XL, and XP you get per catch. For this event, I would actually recommend Mega Evolving a Fairy type to get more candy for Flabébé. And whilst for Pokemon from raids, you don't need to Mega Evolve the same type to get extra candy, Mega Evolving a Fairy type will help with extra Candy XL for Enamorus. So for this, you can Mega Evolve Gardevoir, Mawile, Altaria, or Diancie, and you will get extra candy, XP, and chance for Candy XL when Mega Evolving a Pokemon that is at the max Mega level. You can also get some extra candy from trading. If you trade 2 Pokemon that were caught less than 10 kilometers away from each other, you will just get the 1 candy and a 10% chance for a Candy XL. But if the distance between them is above 10 kilometers, you will get 2 candy and a 25% chance of receiving Candy XL. And over 100 kilometers between them would get you 3 candy and a guaranteed Candy XL. Now, when it comes to XP, there is a 2 times catch XP bonus for the event, which is good, but the next event that takes place in February will be even better for XP. So the day after this event ends, on February 9th between 2 PM and 5 PM, will be Carablast and Shelmet Community Day. And during this event, amongst many bonuses, will be a 3 times catch XP bonus. This will be the best time to use Lucky Eggs, focus on your excellent throws, and use quick catching to catch as much as you can in the 3-hour time slot. Catching with an excellent throw and Lucky Eggs active will get you over 6,000 XP per catch, which is one of the best ways to get a lot of XP quickly, especially as the 3-hour lure module bonus means that more people will be using their lure modules on this day. So if you go to places where there are a lot of Pokestops, there will be a lot of lure modules active, and therefore there will be more spawns than normal, so you will be able to catch more and get more XP. And whilst there is no Stardust bonus for Community Day, using star pieces will still be worth it if you're out grinding catches for XP. However, not everybody will be able to attend the specific 3-hour time slot. And if that is the case, then using Lucky Eggs during the small yet strong event will still be useful for gaining XP, because you will get more than 4,000 XP per excellent throw catch. And regarding Stardust, I do always recommend catching Paris when you see it during the event, because it will give extra Stardust per catch. But there is also another good opportunity for Stardust coming up a couple of days after this event ends. So on the 11th of February between 6 PM and 7 PM, Love Disc will have a Spotlight Hour, and it will have a 2 times catch Stardust bonus. So this will be a great chance to use a couple of star pieces to maximize Stardust gains. The small yet strong event, however, does offer another route to get more XP and Stardust. So the increased amount of double XL Pokemon you encounter during the event will be useful for showcases during events in the future, and ranking highly in showcases will get you premium items including Lucky Eggs and star pieces that you can then use to get more XP and Stardust. And to get to level 49 in Pokemon Go, you do need 35 platinum medals, and here are some medals that are most worth focusing on during this event in particular. So firstly, this will be a good time to work on your tiny and jumbo collector medals with the increased amount of double XS and double XL spawns for this event. And also this bonus to get more double XL Pokemon will be really helpful for winning showcases in the future, so that will eventually help you with your showcase's star platinum medal. We do also have some decent raid bosses during this event, and as you get 2 free raid passes per day this season, this is a good chance to work on your platinum rising star, champion, and battle legend medals. And if you want to know what else is going on in Pokemon Go this month, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.